That's AJ Pierzynski.
Welcome to Foul Territory today on Tuesday.
You got to open with those baby blues. We needed a close-up. That's what we needed. Those eyes.
Ratings are through the roof, and then
sex
they
sells.
Tanked. Yeah, that's true. So do the Mariners. Why do I say that? We have a Mariners show now. It's official. We've been working on that one. The show exists already. It's just now part of the FT network, and it'll get a little boost. Probably more content. Maybe some others joining the party.
Oh,
wow. That is pretty.
Come on. Stand up. Stand up, whoever did that. Get your steps in today. That's nice.
The state of Washington is covered. Or if you're a Mariners fan anywhere else, we've got you. I don't know what we're going to do with Wyoming, Montana, some of those spots.
Those are Mariners fans, I believe.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Brady Farkas, host of Refuse to Lose Territory, part of the FT network. It is a Mariners show. He's been doing it for about 2 years. He's going to do more. He's going to join us later on FT. Do you remember Refuse to Lose?
Wasn't that back in the 2001 when they won 116 games?
Further back. I think they used it a little bit in 01, but 1995.
Oh.
They were down 13 games in August.
I remember
they come
that.
back
Caught
and
the
win the
Angels.
West. Yes, caught the
Angels.
Angels.
They had the epic one-game playoff, and then they beat the Yankees.
Yes.
Edgar Martinez.
And then they lost to the Indians.
Right.
I mean, Guardians, even though they were the Indians.
No, they were the Indians.
Yeah, they were the Indians back then. They were down 2-0 in that ALDS to the Yankees.
They were. They came back with Edgar Martinez and doubled on the line, and then Griffey scoring from first, and Joey Correa jumping on him, and
A-Rod was on deck, and they chose to throw to Edgar Martinez. A-Rod, 19-year-old A-Rod, I think, or 18-year-old A-Rod was on deck.
When you Google that term, it runs through some of what I'm listing, and then it even has the footnote in there. Still used in fan media today, such as the Refuse to Lose show, a Mariners podcast, Refuse to Lose Territory.
Wow.
Cool.
All right.
There you go. We're going to talk to Brady later. He's really good. I'm excited. I've been listening. Okay. This one's for all the haters out there. We're going to charge the mound with a special theme.
Charging the mound.
Slow starts is the theme. Don't you feel like it's time to go over some guys who have not been performing well? It's not like it's been 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Has it been enough time to say, hey, what's going on here?
I think so.
Is there someone that comes to mind for you, or would you rather me list out some players that are a little bit slow? I would like to start with, do you have one, or do you want me to start?
I mean, I think Bo Bichette comes to mind.
Okay.
Just because I just saw him.
Tell me, though, like, what is going on?
He just looks uncomfortable. It's a new team. It's his first time switching teams. He looks uncomfortable. He doesn't look like the normal Bo Bichette that we've seen. He was chasing more than he has in the past. Didn't really have the power that he had. His bat speed's down. He just looks like he's pressing. That's the one to me that stands out.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
Man, if he was in a better spot, I don't know if the Mets would be in that much better of a spot, but
yeah,
signed for big money.
But he can't also put it all on him.
No, he's making over $40 million a year. If the length of the contract plays out on a 3-year deal, he might opt out. They might trade him. Who knows? We'll get to that later. Can I throw one your way? Actually, I'm going to give you an option, Kratz. Would you like to talk about either Fernando Tatis Jr.'s 0 homers or Cal Raleigh's super slow start compared to last year?
I feel like they're a little bit less stories than – like I feel like those two starts, like Cal Raleigh's never been a major average guy. He's got 7 dingers. Fernando Tatis, come on, let's call a spade a spade. All right? Can we say it out loud? Fernando Tatis' power has been down ever since he got caught doing steroids. Like, I don't know. Is it 0 power? Is it 0 home runs power? No. But it's completely down, and it's been down since, like, I think everybody thinks he's going to get back to his, like, 970 OPS. Like, I think those years are behind him. Like, he's a right fielder that has platinum glove defense and zero power. Like, his exit velocity is still there, but his launch angle isn't. So, I mean, slow starts, or just maybe we're getting closer to what he's going to be. Like, I think now if Tatis has a 20 home run season, like I would be like, whoa, okay.
So he hit 42 homers in 2021. That's what you're referring to. Then he's hurt and had the PED suspension and was out for 2022. Mm-hmm. Ever since then, I mean, Kratz is spot on. I thought it would be more. If you asked me, like, what has he hit since then? I thought maybe he got to 30. He hasn't gotten his high since then is 25.
Yeah.
So, yes, he hasn't had a homer, but he's more like a 20 homer bat.
Yeah.
So if he hits a few a month, he'll get close.
Yeah. I mean, Kratz nailed it. There's nothing else to say about this. I mean, that ringworm is a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, he's an incredible outfielder.
But he got paid. He did get paid.
He got paid. 166 OPS plus in 2021. Since then, the high is 130, which is still all-star caliber.
Yeah.
But, other seasons, 110 in 2023, 126 in 2025. Like, yeah,
What did he do last year?
Last year, it was a 126 OPS plus, 814 OPS, 25 homers in a full season, 155 games, 268 batting, 368 on base, 446 slugging. He's slugging 292. I mean,
well, I mean, everyone keeps saying he's hitting the ball hard, but he can't pull it. Well, he might be hitting the ball hard, but it's because this, Kratz, when you're dragging and you feel like you have to generate more, you swing more outside instead of keeping it short, because when you're trying to generate bat speed. So that's what leads to a lot more rollovers instead of like trusting that you can get there on your own with what you have. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if we're going to break down like the mechanics of a swing, I think Fernando Tatis still has a really good swing, but the mechanics of hitting a home run, it's not about, your bat's in the slot and your swing is elevating the ball. The party's out front. If you want to elevate, you got to hit it out front. You got to catch the ball out front. You got to have enough bat speed to get the ball out front. You have to trust that you can get to the heater out front and still stay back on breaking balls. And if you're not able to do that, you're going to still be able to barrel the ball up, but it's going to be deeper in your stand or deeper in your swing, all that stuff. And to me, that's where, you're talking like Tatis was hitting some oppo-taters before, some balls were coming off the bat hot. And, 0 home runs, look, he's not a 0 home run guy. Everybody we're going to talk about that's this is other level type of players that we're seeing low level production. He's not going to have 0 home runs this year. Is he going to have 30? Absolutely not. Because of exactly what I said before. So he's maybe trying to figure out who he is. He's on a team with a bunch of guys that don't strike out. So he's like, okay, I'm going to be that guy too. I can maybe generate some RBIs. I can figure out how to do some other things, but he's not 2020 Tatis. And he's only getting older, and he's only getting farther away from the ball playing in right field, which he's giving you a lot of value on defense. Maybe not $325 million of value, but a lot of value.
I want to go back to Cal because that's where I think Kratz, it is worth pointing out that, yes, he has 7 homers, but he is a shell of himself compared to last year. He had a .589 slugging percentage last year. Even all the years before that, he was in the mid 400s, even high 400s. He's slugging .320. His OPS plus is 61. To me, AJ, this is a big reason why the Mariners are off to a meh start, because last year, Cal was doing Cal things, and even if he was close to that, the Mariners would be soaring right now. I don't think anyone expected him to hit 60 again. I don't even know if anyone expected 50 again or 167 OPS plus. But he's at 61 with 100 at league average for OPS plus. He's 157 batting, 238 on base, 320 slugging.
He's having a rough start.
It's time to talk about it.
It's having a rough start. It sucks because I love Cal and I love what he did. I still thought he should have been MVP. 31.4% strikeout rate. That also, like we talked about Tatis, that's pressing. That's going outside of his zone. That's trying too hard. That's That's too much. Yes, the 7 homers are nice, but when you look up there and you're on the interstate, which the interstate means you're hitting in the hundreds, nobody likes to look up there, and you try not to look, but eventually it gets to you. I still think Cal comes out of it, and the way you have to look at it is eventually someone's going to pay a lot for this to make up for it, but it's concerning because we're in the middle of May and it's the same.
I'm going to
do percentage. The strikeout percentage is close to his career numbers. I mean, it's not 31, but I think he's like at 29% career. So 2% bump in a month and a half. He was dealing with the side. How much is that doing it? And then you add in the pressing. You know, I think he strikes out a lot. I mean, last year he struck out 188 times in 700 plate appearances. That's a lot. But last year he also bumped his average 27 points. 27 points above his normal average, which was 211, 232, 220. So he's a career 220 hitter, including this year.
Yeah, I get it, but there's a big difference between 220 and 157. There's also a humongous difference between a 589 slug and a 320 slug, or even a 450-ish slug, which looks like about what you'd seen for the prior 3 years combined. So it is a massive difference for the Mariners not to have that right now. He's not the only one, too. I'm going to finish with this list, and you guys can just pick one each. There are a number of guys that are well below their career norms. Ketel Marte, yes. Jose Ramirez, Austin Riley.
Yes.
Riley's at an 81 OPS plus, 79 for Ketel. Even Jose Ramirez at 105 compared to usually being more like a 140 OPS plus guy. Any thoughts on any of those three?
Jose Ramirez gets a pass for me. Austin Riley is a little more concerning, but the Braves are playing so well, so nobody talks about it. Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Geraldo Perdomo are all underneath their average. So it's kind of been a slow start for all of them. If it wasn't for Edmiro Vargas, who knows where the Diamondbacks are. But they're back at 500 without those three. So Arenado's off to a nice start for them. Change the scenery guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Carroll, everyone's like, oh, Carroll got off to a great start. He's been struggling a little bit here. But Marte, Carroll, and Perdomo, all three have not been great for the Diamondbacks. So maybe it's just it wasn't warm enough out in Arizona yet, and they're waiting for the weather to get warmer.
It's a good thing when Kratz, the team's still hovering in the 500
20
range.
and 20.
They've gotten nothing from their stars.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. I honestly thought Carroll shows how much I've been paying attention. I just thought Carroll was coming back from that hamate, and he started out hot, and I thought he was doing well. To me, Scott, I don't know if you're going to let me go off the board, but you got to choose one of the Giants guys. One of the Giants' big three. Devers, I think, is starting to come on. If you watched the game last night, and maybe it was a Roki thing, he didn't have that front leg like way almost out of the front of the batter's box like he had earlier in the year. He was almost more like closed off, real close to the plate, but he knows Roki's not going to throw inside, so he's like, come and get me some. And then he hit a dinger last night, but he kind of has made changes. Chapman, he's going to give you Gold Glove. To me, the biggest thing is Willy Adames. Willy Adames is going to be a lower average guy if he goes, because when he does well, and I think he got over 30 homers last year. He's the first guy since Barry Bonds. He still is going to hit 220 to 240 type of hitter. But when he gets going, I feel like he is the energy for that team. Is that team good enough if Willy Adames is hitting 280 right now with 12 pumps? No, I don't think they're built well enough to be able to compete in the tough National League. But I think of those three guys at the plate, I think Devers will come through. I think Chapman will be who he is because he's going to be able to be heavily weighted WAR with his defense. And that's why they paid him, and he's still playing good defense. To me, it's Willy Adames, whose defense at short is going to only continue to age poorly. So to me, that energy that he brings when he's not just when he's doing well, but when he's coming up with big hits because he's in the middle of that lineup, I think Willy Adames, when he turns it around, the Giants will be a little bit more respectable on offense.
Last one, we'll let a fan chime in. One of the FT members, if you want to become an FT member on YouTube, that would be great. Skrilla T, Corey Seager, lengthy, slow start, longer slump for him. Whiffs and strikeouts are up. He's been healthy and on the field for the whole first 40. Knocks on wood. He did a knocks on wood.
He has been healthy, but he has not been hitting. That's another one, yeah.
189.
Yeah, he was struggling.
For Corey Seager. Yeah, I mean, the OPS plus is 100 because he got a little pop, 7 homers. Slugging's at 372. But, I mean, this is a guy, you look at you want to know the 3 prior years for Seager on OPS plus, 100 league average? 153, 149, 174. I mean, he's way below what he normally does. Yeah, he is nasty. He's so damn good. I'm not worried about him. That's what I'm not worried about.
Do we say Royce Lewis is struggling, or has it been too long to be like, I don't know what Royce Lewis we have? He had a big hit the other night, but, I mean, he even came out and said he feels like somebody's got to tell me I'm not going to the minor leagues, like I'm not getting – but he hasn't been that all-star level when healthy. He's been healthy, and he hasn't been hitting. So maybe he's not in that group, but I think he's hitting like 170, 175, something like that.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out because he's had flashes, but some of these others we're talking about are superstars, and they're not putting up
perennial all-stars.
Yep. Exactly. Good game. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for chiming in if you did in the chat and if you're watching afterward. Up next, Ken Rosenthal. Hey, we're staying here for a few minutes while the TV crowd takes a commercial break. We're live. Braun, Pierzynski, Kratz. We'll talk to Ken coming up in a moment. We're shouting out SeatGeek right now. You know the code. It's still there for you. You should use it. It's getting a little warmer out. If you've been hibernating, Territory 10 on SeatGeek. Anything catching anyone's eye this evening? I've got one. Paul Skeens
against the Rockies.
Yep.
And
Paul
Pittsburgh.
Skeens night. No hitter alert.
Yamamoto's pitching against the Giants. Dodgers need a win.
There's not a lot of good matchups, but there's a lot of good pitchers.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Braves at Cubs, right?
Braves at Cubs.
Wrigley, that's a good one.
It's in Atlanta.
Oh, it's in Atlanta. Okay.
But yes, and it's Colin Ray against Grant Holmes. But
I don't care.
Should see some offense.
Two hottest teams,
Brewers,
right?
Another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Zach
good matchups.
Wheeler's going in Boston against Terrence Brockington Davison.
I'll give you one that might be a little off the board, but the Mariners against the Astros. So you get Brian Wu on one side, see if he kind of gets himself rolling, and then Amai on the other side. See, I want to watch that. I just want to see what that looks like. He's back.
He might be in my lock later.
Wow.
Because the Mariners strike out a lot.
They do. It just will he throw enough strikes? I don't know.
I don't know that he has to throw enough strikes because they're going to swing at it whether he throws a strike or not.
Even if it's out of the zone?
I mean, that's the thing with the Mariners.
They chase.
I got to go back to my roots tonight.
There's some good ones. It's a good point by Kratz. Like you have a lot of, that matchup is one whatever and one ace. Shane McClanahan's pitching for the Rays against the Blue Jays.
Patrick Corbin. That might be my lock.
Corbin. Wow. McClanahan has a 2.60 ERA at this point.
I'm going on SeatGeek, and I'm finding a pitcher that I want to see, and Shane McClanahan's one of them. Like right now, I want to see what he looks like because he might be rounding into form. So get your tickets early. They might be cheaper now than they will later in the season when the Rays are running for the American League's best record.
Good point. It's the official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball. They've got you covered for all of your baseball ticket needs. Code for you on the screen. Territory 10. 10% off tickets at SeatGeek. Yes, that's 10% off tickets, any tickets on SeatGeek. You can also find a little bit of that code, if you forget it, in the description of this episode. Thank you, SeatGeek. Coming right up, Ken Rosenthal. Let's hit the inside scoop with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal. Ken, I'd like to dive into your column on Buster Posey and the San Francisco Giants. We spent a lot of time on that trade yesterday. I thought it was fascinating, but let's focus on San Francisco and push this forward. Will Buster Posey be making a number of trades if they continue to go down this path, or are many of their contracts difficult to move?
That's a good question, Scott. And certainly some of their contracts are difficult to move. Devers, Adames, Chapman. But Robbie Ray, potential free agent, you could move him. And there are some others as well. I don't expect that they would entertain anything for Logan Webb, but could they do some things around the edges? Yeah, they could. Harrison Bader, he's back now. He's a one-year guy. So I don't believe the Giants are looking at it that way at all. They are trying to build something and not take something away. The Patrick Bailey trade almost stands alone from that. It's a different kind of trade. They wanted to open up playing time for Susak, who's coming off the IL, and Jesus Rodriguez. And frankly, they were fed up with Patrick Bailey and his inability to hit and some of the defensive stuff as well. So it wasn't necessarily the defensive metrics, but just the way he handled the pitching staff. It was never copacetic necessarily between him and Posey. So they make the trade, but I don't see that as any sign that they're going to tear down in any way. This was simply a move they made in their mind to get better, and they did get the equivalent of a number one draft pick for Patrick Bailey, the 29th selection overall. So they like the trade.
Ken, is it too late for the Giants? With the Dodgers and the Padres doing what they're doing, some of the other teams in the NL already starting to separate, the Cubs, the Braves. There's basically, you can almost chalk for playoff teams already. The Brewers are coming, right? They're probably another one that's going to be in there. You figure out the sixth one, whatever that wild card might be. But is it too late already for the Giants? I know we're only, May 12th? But is it already too late? Have they fallen far enough behind? Can Devers, Adames, Chapman get hot enough to make up this deficit?
AJ, I'm reluctant to say it's too late for any team with expanded playoffs and the way things work. Now, you're right. The National League is more difficult and challenging to make the playoffs in than it will be in the American League, at least this season. But that said, it is a situation where Devers has not hit, starting to hit now. May has been much better than April. Adames, maybe he's coming out of it. And last night, when you watch that game, the way they erupted late against the Dodgers bullpen and some of the lesser guys in that bullpen, you could see glimpses of what maybe the Giants envisioned themselves being. And this is what maybe some of us thought they would be, which was a team that was pretty good offensively. Not great, not perfect, but pretty good. And challenged more on the pitching side. With Logan Webb right now on the IL, yes, they're challenged more on the pitching side. They got good work out of McDonald last night, a call-up. So I still don't see them being a complete enough team, a consistent enough team to really be in the playoff mix, but you cannot rule it out. And certainly, if Devers becomes Devers again, then the equation changes. And it's a funny mix. They've got their top prospect, Bryce Eldridge, in the major leagues now, and they're not really going to play him. They're going to use him more as a pinch hitter because they want Devers to play and Casey Schmidt to play. And, of course, Chapman and Adames are locked in. So I don't know where it's going, but it's kind of situation right now where things are tenuous, put it that way. It could go basically either way.
You confirmed in your article about what I had saw when I played with Buster Posey, about how he's not like real keen on the whole way that Major League Baseball established or values catchers with only receiving and only throwing. He feels like there's other things. Do you feel like the way that Buster Posey, because he was instrumental in the Chapman signing even before he was the GM, do you feel like he's zigging when the rest of the league is zagging and he's kind of putting his foot in the ground, his stamp on this team as this is either going to work or it's not, and it's a concerted effort to be different because he thinks this is where the success is?
I don't know that it's a concerted effort to be different, but certainly he is bold, he is decisive, and he has put his mark on this team. And as I wrote, all of their big moves, Devers, Adames, Tony Vitello, perfectly defensible in a vacuum. You can justify and understand why each of those moves was made. At the same time, it's got to work. And if it doesn't work, then of course we're talking about something different entirely. And so far, at least to this point, it hasn't worked. So they went from a very analytical GM, Farhan Zaidi, to a very baseballish type GM, Buster Posey. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out with them, because they're a team that has the number 4 pick in this draft and the number 29 pick now coming over from the trade. They've got some good things happening in their farm system. And yet, as I ask in the column, where is this going? And how much longer will it be before their fans are saying, okay, what's next? Because this is a team with 1 winning season in the last 9 years coming into this season. And there's a restlessness about this organization, and there should be. The Giants should be better than they've been. Now, there are reasons for it. We all know that. It's always that way in baseball. But it is time for them to start showing it. And granted, it's only Posey's 2nd full season, but he has taken some big swings. And as I wrote, to this point, most of those big swings have been more subtraction than addition. I'm sorry, amounted to subtraction by addition. That's how I should put it.
Okay. Ken, what else was in your article this week? What else did you write about?
I don't know, AJ, you got to read it.
Oh, no, that's why I'm asking you, because it leads to my next question.
Go ahead.
I don't know what was in the artitle, so I can't ask the question if I don't know what was in the article.
Stop. You're really asking? This is
no,
I'm
serious.
This seems like a setup.
No, this is not a setup. It'll get somewhere if Ken will just answer the
Scott,
question, please.
Why don't we have someone who read the article ask another question, and then maybe AJ can think of a question.
Okay, were the Mets in your article? That's all I want to know. No.
It was just the Giants.
Not really.
It was just Giants.
From what
I just mentioned the Mets in one aspect, AJ. I said that Buster Posey doesn't have the track record David Stearns does. At least with Stearns, you can point to what he did in Milwaukee, what he did in 24 with the Mets, and know that there is some foundation there that he has built for his reputation. Buster Posey, like Vitello, is relatively new to his job. So there's going to be scrutiny on any person like that. And again, he has been bold, he has been decisive, and in this day and age, in Major League Baseball, that can be a separator because there are so many heads of baseball operations who are risk averse. At the same time, again, the moves have to work. And we all know no front office is perfect. And I mentioned that in the article. And what was so interesting to me about the trade, and AJ, maybe you can ask a question off of this. What was so interesting was that for the frustrations the Giants had with Bailey, the Guardians seemed to be rejoicing over getting him. Stephen Vogt, their manager, said he got texts from 8 or 9 people with the Giants congratulating him on the deal. President of Baseball Operations Chris Antonetti mentioned a conversation he had with Orioles manager Craig Albanese. Now, Craig Albanese was the Giants catching coach for a time with Patrick Bailey there, and then was the Guardians bench coach, and apparently had been lobbying the Guardians to get Patrick Bailey. And what Albanese said to Antonetti was, "Oh, now you get him that I'm gone." So 2 organizations looking at this player completely differently. And that is the beauty of the game. And Bailey certainly is a polarizing guy. And we'll see how this all turns out.
Okay, Ken. Now I'll ask my question, or I'll have the story. We actually made a bet that your column this week would be on the Mets or the Diamondbacks. That's why I asked the question. And since I know I have not had time to read it, you could have just answered the question simply, but you decided to go all rant mode. So thank you for the rant. But so basically
Yeah.
The bet was that you would write this week, because since you saw the Mets and the Diamondbacks, that your column this week would be on one of those 2 teams. It wasn't. So therefore you lost me like $1. So you owe me $1, Ken. But my question now goes to the Mets. Is the call-up of Ewing, is this just the last thing they have, the last gasp attempt at finding some offense? All the moves they've tried to make already, they're moving guys in the lineup, Soto to lead off, this and that. Is this their last gasp attempt to get some offense on this team?
AJ, first of all, I apologize for you losing your bet. I'll be happy to give you your $1 the next time I see you. I write according to what I think is the best story of the day, and I didn't believe the Mets or the Diamondbacks were the best story of the day. Now, to the point you raise, and it is a really good one, because where else do the Mets turn? And frankly, they're turning to a guy here who has played, I believe, 12 games at AAA. That's it. He is a player who has immense promise. I spoke with someone last night who said he's not going to be quite the defender Pete Crow Armstrong is, but he believes this is someone who has some knowledge from the draft of AJ Ewing. He believes this guy, AJ Ewing, will be a better offensive player than Armstrong and lesser defensively. If that's the guy he is, if that's the player he turns out to be, big win for the Mets. That said, teams always will tell you they never want to bring in a player to be a savior type person in a losing situation. What are the Mets doing here? They are asking AJ Ewing, they'll deny this, but they're asking AJ Ewing to inject them with some energy at a time when they are absolutely struggling, and it is a lot to ask. There's no question it's a lot to ask. So is this an act of desperation? I would say it's pretty darn near an act of desperation. And you can understand it, AJ. We watched the Mets this weekend, and we were not impressed. So I get it, but it is also a reflection of them not really having any place else to turn with so many players out right now. And all teams have injuries. We know that they're having a particularly bad run, but at the same time, for $370 million, you would think they would have more options to go to.
Is there any inclination that a move like this is more of a David Stearns type of move? I get it, there's injuries. I get it, who's out and, the next guy up type of thing. But David Stearns has almost been forced to spend money when he's come to New York. We know that Cohen probably was the one that pushed through the Juan Soto thing. David Stearns doesn't really want to spend money on pitchers. And look at the teams that he had success with the Brewers. They were calling guys up all the time, dropping them into lineups at different spots, letting them be who they are. But he had Luis Robert. He has Francisco Lindor. He has veterans almost at every position besides one guy, Carson Benj, who he allowed to be there. So is this Ewing call-up more of like a, hey, you know what? It shows all these money guys haven't done what we need them to do. Let's try it the way that we did it in Milwaukee. Or is it just he's the next guy, so we'll do it?
Probably a little of both, Eric. And yes, this is the way they did it in Milwaukee. But yes, David Stearns also recognizes he's not in Milwaukee and he's not going to run the team the same way. He didn't take the job anticipating he would run the team the same way. It's a much different market, a much different situation entirely. To me, this move is not David Stearns trying to put his stamp on the Mets as much as what the heck else can we do at this time? We've got a lot of dead weight on our roster. Let's try one of the kids and see how that goes. And there's no harm in it. You can always send AJ Ewing back down, and this idea that it could damage him permanently. Some people will say this in baseball. You bring a kid up and you could mess him up forever. I guess, but not in the way the modern game operates. We've seen guys come up and come down, and maybe AJ Ewing is ready, maybe he isn't. But the Mets feel, obviously, that this is someone who can give them a little boost. And we'll see. There's speed, there's defense, there's some good things about AJ Ewing we know already. And again, with Carson Benj now settling in, perhaps AJ Ewing can take the same kind of path, though again, it is a much quicker route to the major leagues.
Ken, do we have a update on Francisco Lindor? I know we kind of asked Mendy on Saturday, and he kind of gave us the I don't really know. But have you heard anything more other than that, or Luis Robert for that matter?
Their expectation on Lindor is June, and I'm not sure exactly when in June, but he's not that close. And Luis Robert Jr. and Polanco, they're supposedly closer, but each of them is not exactly moving at a rapid pace. I believe Polanco, it's possible this homestand, or at least that's what they were saying while we were in Arizona. I don't know if that's changed. And Robert would be after that. But again, I don't know that you can put timetables on these guys when they've had injury histories and they don't seem to get healthy quickly. It's a problem for the Mets in part because they've also lost some of their depth guys. They lost the shortstop behind Lindor, Ronnie Mauricio. They lost two outfielders that really would be helping them right now and would prevent them from signing or bringing up AJ Ewing. I'm talking about Tauchman and Jared Young. So this is where they are. It's not a great spot to be in, but at the same time, they've got to battle through it. No one's going to feel sorry for them, and no one should.
Yeah, and a couple of those guys like Polanco and Robert, have had injury histories for a while now. So, that was part of this, where you're replacing some guys and you feel like they're a better fit for the team, but they're much more injury prone. I liked your line on Fair Territory the other day, Ken. You said you watched a lineup on, what was it, Saturday or Sunday, that had a little split squad feel to it with the bottom of it. I mean, that is rough when you look at a team that's at, $370 million and second highest payroll in the game on a day when apparently collective bargaining chitter chatter is going to start too. So how fitting.
It is fitting. And yes, Evan Drellick just reported that the two sides, the union and the league, met for the first time today. It's called opening presentations. It's not a situation where offers are getting exchanged or ideas are getting exchanged. It's just, here's what we think of where the game is, and here's what you think of where the game is, and go from there. Again, they will talk numerous times before we get to the December 1st expiration of the CBA. I don't expect anything serious to happen until maybe November. And even then, it might be a lot of feinting and jabbing, because it seems like we're going to need a lockout, or we're going to get a lockout, in order for these two sides to get serious.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're into that. Rack up those lawyer hours, the whole deal. We'll be talking about it, so we'll see what happens. Ken, good stuff. Thank you. Catch you later in the week, and I'll be on every single word of every column you put out there, even if your best friend AJ isn't.
You didn't invite me over for dinner. That's his fault. I would have read
Stop. Well, he's going to give you a $1 dinner because he owes you $1. He's going to give you a $1 slice in New York next time you guys meet. How's that?
That's right. Thanks, AJ. Ken. Good talking to you always.
Yep, thank you. Nice reading.
See ya. Fair Territory, by the way, back on Thursday. Oh, do you know who's hosting Fair Territory on Thursday?
I have no idea.
Me.
Oh, nice.
Me and Ken and I will bring it for you. I think Alana's doing something else, so I'll take over with Ken.
Yeah, she's flying to Gainesville.
Oh, is that coming up? That's in the next couple days?
It's this weekend.
Oh, so that is probably what she's doing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there you go. So I will take over, since I do not follow Morgan Wallen like you and Alana and everyone else. All right, good talk. We'll be right back.
Big dog, you know how it is, man. We're always hungry. And how do we get our food? We don't want the stuff that makes our bellies hurt. We go to HelloFresh. We find out specifically what we love to eat. And guess what, Kratzy? I know it helps you out the household. Wifey is happy, and the kids are extra happy.
I'm good at two things. Cooking is one of them, but not trying to choose what we're going to have. I've gone 15 meals so far, and they haven't given me one repeat meal. There's so many to choose from, and they can make it easy for me.
Yeah, and I think the best part of it is for me, I'm very particular. I'm trying new things, and I'm really, really liking these things from HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free breakfast for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/FT10FM to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. Who wants that? I know everybody would love that.
Jordan Moore on Twitter posting the top 5 records in baseball along with payrolls. Braves, $253 million. Rays, $87 million. Cubs, $232 million. Yankees, $208 million. Padres, $209 million. Bottom 5. This is fun. Giants, $201 million. Rockies, $122. Angels, $183. Astros, $237. Mets, $368. You wrote at the bottom, Rays plus Mets. Very different. 300 difference.
I hope when the union went into the owners, they said, here's the standings. So are we all really going to whine and cry about this?
Yes, because
the Dodgers have the best record in baseball.
Because the Dodgers have Shohei Ohtani.
And any other team could have had him.
That is true. And
But
been rich off
they
him.
didn't try.
How
Can
many
we show
teams?
Can we show that graphic again?
Yeah.
One quick second. I mean, listen, are there some high payroll teams up there? Yes, but it also shows you the Mets, the Astros, the Giants. I mean, who would thought the Rockies were at 122, by the way?
You would have thought lower?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I forgot Chris Bryant's on there making a huge chunk, but where's the rest of that at? Who's the other guys? Freeland? And who else?
Shigano got a little bit of money.
Yeah,
Lorenzen
a little
got
bit.
a little bit of money.
Lorenzen got a little bit, but not to make it 122.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Who are the Rays going to trade for at the trade deadline? That's the question. You know they're going to go get somebody.
They should.
Rockies still more than the Pirates.
A pair of dynamic outfielders are getting the call to the major leagues. We'll start with the Athletics bringing up Henry Bolte. Bolte's long been kind of one of the better prospects in the organization, but always had concerns about whether he was going to make enough contact to make it all work. He's shown improvements at that this year. He's had a very good start to the year. He was at AAA Las Vegas, though, which is a great place to hit, but the signs are encouraging. The Mets are obviously in more trouble, but they are bringing up, I would say, also the better prospect. AJ Ewing was a big riser in our recent Top 100 Prospects update. He is number 33 on the Baseball America Top 100 nowadays. Hit first, I would say, at the end of the day, but there's hitting ability, there's power, there's athleticism. I know he's coming up because Luis Robert is going on the IL, but at the same time, if you told me that he is the Mets center fielder of the present and future, it would not surprise me, especially for a team in need of spark.
But wait,
There you
they have
go.
Luis Robert.
Not right now.
That's why. I mean, when he comes back, what do they do with him?
With Ewing?
Yeah,
You know what? The Mets suck enough right now that anybody that hits will find a spot.
because left field is Soto. He ain't going there.
Right.
Center field will be Robert at some point.
Mhm.
Right field is Benj when Robert comes back. Because right now Benj is playing center. He's doing a good job in center field for a guy that wasn't really a center fielder.
You know,
So this is why this move is interesting. I mean, we haven't really talked about it other than before now, Kratzy. But if you have Soto in left, you have Benj in center right now, and he's doing a nice job. You're going to bring Ewing to put him in center and make Benj go back to right where he wasn't as comfortable as he has been in center. Right?
but they love playing guys out of position anyway.
Oh,
So
okay.
this
Well, then
fits
there you
right
have
in.
it. So,
Thank you, Scott.
I mean,
I'll be here all night. It is true.
I know. That's why it's
the
another
most
interesting
clunky
move by
positioned
David Stearns.
team of
I mean,
all
this
time.
this why I asked Ken the question. This screams of just full panic. This is the last thing we can do in order to make something happen on this year before we just punt it.
He is not saving the season.
I mean, unless he comes up and he's
No.
I don't even know who he could be. I don't know. Name of the greatest
Kevin
rookie.
McGonigal.
Ichiro back in 2001 when he won MVP.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
He is a
If he's kind of
contact.
big
He had 3
McGonigal,
homers
that's
last
big,
year.
but he's not.
70 stolen bases. This is a team that doesn't get on base. Their on base percentages, Brutes Magoots, even with Juan Soto. You think a rookie's just going to come up and all of a sudden they're just going to give him the superstar treatment? They're going to be like, here, see how far you can hit it. And it's going to be a lot of the same. I'm not saying he can't hit 300. In no way am I saying that. But he better go and be Kelly Leak out there if he's going to change the game on defense for him. Maybe with him in center and Benj in right, maybe it gives them a more formidable outfield that they could maybe shift and cover a little bit of what Juan is not able to do as much in left. But like a blip on the radar, to me it's cool. But it's not he's not going to carry him. They're not dropping him into the 3 spot or the 2 spot to protect Juan Soto.
Did you just say that they're going to improve their run prevention?
Here's the thing. I watched Juan Soto play left field on Saturday. He wasn't bad. He made one really nice play. He made a diving catch that just tipped off his glove. That was a nice, really good effort. He made one play where he cut a ball off that could have gone in the gap, and shut it down and held the guy from scoring. It was a really nice. I mean, he didn't look terrible in left field.
That's the spot for him.
Yeah, 100%. He didn't have the arm strength to play right. I know
No.
he had a lot of assists. That's because everyone ran on him. So how do you get a lot of assists? Everyone runs on you.
Yeah.
So eventually you throw somebody out.
Right. You got to try every day. That's the spot, though. And I agree for all the flack that he gets on the defensive side. He can still handle it for now. I mean, it's just long term. Eventually, when a guy slows down, he'll be a DH for the team. But that might not be for 5 years. I mean, he's in his mid-20s.
Right, but all those numbers, the reason he gets dinged is the same reason that other guys get. It's the outs above average. It's the defensive runs saved. Those kinds of things, they don't show up. They don't give him enough credit to be able to keep a single, a double to a single. It doesn't, So if he's a smart player, if he's going to be taught, and I think when his year with the Yankees, there's a lot of things that they are taught in the outfield that you don't need to be a superstar, elite track star to be able to get to the ball. And if you adopt those things, I think he can adopt them in a much smaller left field than right field in Citi Field. I mean, right field in Citi Field, while the fences keep coming in every year, it's still much larger than left. Left is tiny at Citi Field. So to me, I think you play to your strengths, or you play to mitigate the issues. And I'm sure he can do enough, but he's not giving. Who has a Gold Glove left fielder? Very few teams do. The Brewers, they want 3 center fielders out in the outfield, and that's how they built their team. The Mets want to build a lineup that's we'll just play wherever we want to play. Anybody can play first. Anybody can shift from second to third. We got a cornerstone in Francisco Lindor at short, who didn't look like he was ready to go early in the season. We'll take center field. One good season of Elise Robert is all that we need. Like, there's a lot more going on. The stalwart in the Mets is Juan Soto. So anytime you talk about struggles, there's no way we can talk about Juan Soto being the reason that they're struggling.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe it's a perfect storm. Ewing just starts hitting, getting on base, setting the table. The one thing that you will see is he is super fast. It's fun to watch.
Setting the table?
He gets on.
Setting the table in the 8-9 spot?
Yeah, for Soto.
Okay. So he'll
get some
steal
traffic
first?
for Soto?
Like, sure. But he steals. If he's hitting in the 9 spot, he gets on. Everybody's excited. Save the ball. Steals second. 4. Go to first, Juan. We know you're not going to swing, so we're not going to throw anything in the zone. So now you have first and second. It's not turning the team around offensively. That's it.
No. I get it. Yeah. Just try and get some more traffic going because, like Ken said, split squad, bottom of the lineup, that's not going to play for a team that's going to have to go on like a 95 win pace the rest of the year. A team in a better spot, not the rosiest start, but good enough, the Mariners. We're going to talk to Brady Farkas, newest member of the FT fam. Chandler Rome tweeting that Carlos Correa joined the Astros advance meeting on FaceTime yesterday in good spirits. He had his surgery. He's done for the year, which we know already. The Astros might be done for the year. We're going to talk about them in our early trade deadline segment, or not even trade deadline, just trade segment. But remember when we talked so much about how the Astros were going to fit all the pieces together? Isaac Paredes, not going to get to play every day. Usually that stuff works itself out. And it did.
It's Correa. Why is Correa just joined the meeting just to say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
Just to say hi, guys?
Hey, I made it through surgery. I miss you guys, and I'll be back once I'm at a certain stage of the recovery process. That was the word. So
got it. Okay.
It is what it is. Hey, last year there were 2 massive contracts that moved to midseason. Devers and Correa.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working out.
It's not impossible. It's not working out for either one of them at the moment.
Not at
I mean,
all.
the Astros are just eating that Correa money right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Twins are like, we stink, but we don't have to pay that.
Those teams are happy they got rid of those deals right now.
Are the Red Sox?
I mean, at this very second, based on Devers' numbers, but ask me again in July, and that might be different.
Do you think that Devers would be having a bad year if he was in Boston this year?
No, that's a great point. I don't.
Because every year in Boston, he did pretty well.
Do you feel like they got a little tickle out of sending him to a place that can be a hellhole for many hitters? They did, right? Of
course they did.
They could not wait to call.
If they could have found a bigger park to send him to, they would have.
Right. They would have sent him to Yosemite if it was a baseball
team there, yes. Mm-hmm. The biggest place, the hardest place for him to hit, they sent him to.
Sometimes those are the things that get overlooked. I'm glad you brought that up, where people are like, see, it worked. He sucks. And even I kind of fell into that trap. And you're like, hold up. Let me tell you about the difference between Boston's park and the Giants' home.
Those fly balls he hits to left that are now caught are off the monster for at least a single. Now they're caught. Now the outfielder's running in going, I got it.
You're saying that some players fit certain ballparks better than others?
Mm-hmm.
Disagree. There's no way. There's no way Isaac Paredes would do well in Houston. Zero. His hit profile does not work that way. Sarcasm.
Crazy. We're going to talk AL West. We're going to dive in. Mariners specifically. New show. Brady Farkas. Next.
Oh, Farkas.
It's called Refuse to Lose Territory. I love the logo. Here is Brady Farkas joining us right now, star of the show, and joining the FT Network. Brady, great to have you on here. Congrats on joining the FT Network officially. We've been asked for a while to get ourselves together with the Mariners show, and this is the perfect marriage. So how you doing? And why don't you introduce yourself to AJ and Kratz a little bit, too, on the backstory of the show and what you've been talking about with the Mariners.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate you having me on the network. I've been a big fan of the network from afar. I'm honored to be a part of it. I've been hosting the Refuse to Lose podcast independently for the last 2 seasons now, and this was the time to kind of take it to the next level, and I know this network is going to help the show get there. But look, I've been a diehard Mariners fan my entire life. The Refuse to Lose territory name comes from the 1995 Mariners that I grew up on that saved baseball in Seattle, the Griffey, Edgar, A-Rod, young A-Rod, but Buhner, Randy Johnson led Mariners. So it's kind of honoring the history of the organization with kind of what has been an exciting last 5-year build for this team to get where it's gotten to now. And though it's been a disappointing start here through the first 42 games at 20 and 22, it is still a team with a lot of potential and lofty goals and big expectations. And it's a starving fan base that is well aware that it is the only fan base that has never even been to a World Series. So there's a lot on the line for the Mariners here in 2026, and I'm excited to continue to chronicle the journey of this team, how the fans feel about it, and mix it with on-site reporting as well as expert guest analysis.
Hey, Brady, is there more pressure on the Mariners because the Seahawks have won a couple times recently? Is there more pressure on the Mariners to finally get to the World Series? Because you can, where you're in your background, although there's no fans, you can see the Seahawks stadium. So everyone that sits at home plate can see, what's it called, Quest Field, can see that from home plate. So is there more pressure now on the Mariners?
I think there's pressure on the Mariners every year, AJ, because this is a tortured fan base when it comes to baseball, right? Never have been to the World Series, a team that largely was irrelevant for a 20-year period. And then when they weren't irrelevant, it was always Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football, right? Lucy pulls the football away as Charlie thinks he's finally going to get a chance to kick it. So the Mariners have been bad, or they've been close but no cigar so much. The pressure exists now in the fact that you have a core that they've built that is young veterans that are in their prime. You know about the pending labor issues, and you wonder if that's going to impact kind of and shrink the window even further. They've been to the playoffs multiple times now in the last 5 years. They got to Game 7 of the ALCS last year. So I think there's pressure on the Mariners because of that solely. But I do think there's pressure in market to kind of keep up with what the Seahawks have done, right? If you had asked me last October who runs Seattle, I would have said it was the Mariners, that the Mariners re-energized the city in a way that they hadn't had since 2001. But then the Seahawks come out and win the Super Bowl 3 years later, or 3 months later, and remind everybody that, well, maybe in fact we run the town and we've been the organization that is more successful. So I hope that ownership in the front office takes that pressure as a challenge. That's how you saw the offseason. Would they be kind of moved to do things to get the organization over the hump? They didn't do it in terms of financial spending, but they did invest in the on-field product going out to get Brendan Donovan. And well, it hasn't worked out the way they wanted to yet. They did spend on Rob Refsnyder. So I do think that the organization is aware of the pressure in market and the pressure from the fan base. And I think you're right. I think there is a Seahawks element to that.
By the way, if you haven't seen one of these,
phenomenal.
This is like the City Connect helmet that they wore the one week. It
they
like
beat the Rams
colors.
on the 2-point conversion.
That's right. So I am, and by the way, 12 is 1. It's pretty awesome. So I'm secretly a Seahawks fan. I'm not allowed to tell my kids that because they make fun of me. But I am secretly a Seahawks fan, so I can't be mad at the Seahawks for winning. But I wish the Mariners at some point could get it done.
I was secretly at Game 1 of the 05 World Series that you played in because my dad is a diehard White Sox fan. So it is one of my best baseball memories, certainly my best non-Mariners memory. But I was there in the ballpark when you guys beat Houston. So you can be a secret Seahawks fan, and I was secretly there also.
You and the Pope.
That's right. We were both there. I was in the upper deck. You probably had better seats.
That's fair. But, I mean, next we have like 30 shows on this network. So whatever show comes on, whatever city, that's what AJ is like, well, I'm secretly this team's fan, and I'm secret.
I have lots of Seahawks. I have lots and lots of Seahawks stuff.
Choose one. Just because you get free gear from them doesn't mean that you're a Seattle Seahawks fan.
That's my kids. My kids kill me about it all the time because I root for the Bears openly because I do like the Bears with my kids. But my kids kill me because there was a chance the Bears could have played the Seahawks in the playoffs. And they were like, Dad, who are you going to root for?
Who are you going to root for?
I didn't have to answer the question. I said, I haven't decided. I would have rooted for the Bears, obviously, just because then I had to deal with my son. If the Bears make the Super Bowl, we'd go. If they ever make the Super Bowl, which who knows? They're like the Mariners in the World Series. They never can make it. So I don't know. But once the Bears lost, obviously my allegiance went to the Seahawks.
It's nice to have two teams to root for, Brady. It's good to have a backup plan.
Always good, like the AL and the NL team people have. Although AJ's got two NFC teams when it comes to that, so he's got look, two good teams too. By the way, as we're switching sports here, two good teams on upward trajectory. So he's a good problem to have.
And AJ has 3 cities. He says Long Island, he says Chicago, and he says Orlando. So anyway, something that needs to be locked in is you're following the Mariners. You mentioned all the moves that they made, the massive, Rob Refsnyder signing, and the fact that they traded for Brendan Donovan, and they signed the Josh Naylor back. Did they do enough to get past where they were last year in the postseason, based on the team they have now? Not how they've done. I think they're 20-22, second place behind the A's seems not insurmountable. But did they do enough? Is this team improved from last year, barring injuries? We have to always say that, but to be able to push it forward, knowing that Cal Raleigh is not going to hit 60 home runs because that's just a historic once-in-a-lifetime season.
I think they did enough to be a very good team that could win the AL West, and therefore they did enough to compete to go deep in the playoffs. That said, I think that, to your point, it was never likely that Cal Raleigh was going to hit 60 home runs again. Then you lose Eugenio Suarez's home runs. Then you lose Jorge Polanco's home runs. I mean, you're talking about probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 60 home runs less right off the bat from a year ago. And so I think this was a team that last year became very power dependent, that lost a lot of power in the offseason. And if you're going to play that way, if you're going to change the profile a bit, well, you're still going to need Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodríguez to provide the power in addition to a full season of Naylor, but you're also going to need the Cole Youngs of the world to step up like he has, to his credit, but you needed Victor Robles to stay healthy and be productive. So far, he's been injured for much of the season. That has been a problem. You needed Luke Raley to be consistent. He's been powerful, but he hasn't been truly consistent yet. Dom Canzone the same. So if you were going to lose those home runs, you needed other guys to step up and fill those voids, which to their credit, some of them have, some of them have not. And you needed a lot of the other things to go right for you that went right a year ago. And so far, the Mariners have been more injured than they were a year ago. That has been a problem. And there has been obviously regression from Cal Raleigh so far through 42 games.
Who's the most underrated player on this team? Underappreciated in the city of Seattle, not in the national baseball scene, because it's tougher. West Coast teams, they play their games late. Everybody knows Cal. But who's the most underappreciated in the city that you feel like if they have the season that they need to have, they need to like take their play to the next level?
But it's hard to call him underrated because he was an all-star a year ago, but I think Brian Wu does not get still the proper credit that he deserves. I think people look at him nationally and say, they don't necessarily think of him as an ace. He did get knocked around 2 starts in a row before rebounding the other day and pitching excellently. But I mean, Brian Wu, if this team is going to be really, really good, they're going to need Brian Wu again to be really, really good. Logan Gilbert is the longest tenured homegrown member of the rotation, so I think he has the clout that comes with that. Luis Castillo has the bigger long-term resume and the bigger paycheck, so I think he has kind of a clout that comes with that. And Brian Wu, I think, continues to fly under the radar, and it's amazing what he's able to do largely with a fastball and variations of his fastball. He's been fastball dominant for his entire career. He started to implement some of the off-speed stuff more, but I think Brian Wu is really kind of the leader of this rotation right now, at least from a performance standpoint. They're going to need him to continue to be the ace of their staff, even if he doesn't get the ace recognition, I think, nationally or even locally, given Gilbert's reputation and history.
All right, Julio's 25 years old. Does Julio win an MVP in the next 3 years? Because I think in the last 3 years, everybody said, well, this is the year. Julio has MVP type of stuff, MVP type of numbers that he can put up. He had like a 7-something WAR last year, but he starts out slow. Does he win the MVP in the next 3 years and lead this team to the World Series?
I think he absolutely can and will win an MVP. He's after the best start of his career. I mean, he's got the best WRC plus, the best OPS that he's had through May 11th at any point in his career. He is striking out less. He is hitting the ball in the air more, which has been an early season problem for him. Too many ground balls. So yes, I think he can win the MVP. As far as winning the World Series, I think that this year has to be the year. I'm not saying they couldn't do it subsequently, but when you look at the pitchers and the aging that they're going to go through over the next few years, you look at the contract issues that they're going to go through in the next few years. I mean, there's going to be a turnover on this staff, and the staff they've built around the last several years is not going to be there or is going to age into a point where you are then concerned about regression and injury. So I think there's a lot of pressure on this year as a result of labor issues and those impending contract issues. So are they going to win it? I'm not going to be naive enough to predict that they're going to win the World Series this year from 20 and 22, but they are all in on this year, and I think there's real pressure to make this year the year.
Brady, we got 2 things I want to hit on, and the first one pains me a lot. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 36 in May?
Yes.
Which is unbelievable. And then Luis Castillo, La Piedra, The Rock, has been getting rocked. What's happening with these two? These guys were considered like cornerstones in the Mariners.
I mean, I still think Cal is a cornerstone, and I do think he's going to be okay. I don't want to excuse make for him, but I think it's pretty clear to see. First 10 games of the season, he hit 140 or something like that. I think you can correlate that to the World Baseball Classic, right? He's a creature of habit. He likes to play every day. He hits from both sides of the plate. He played 4 of 7 games in the WBC. I don't believe he took an at-bat right-handed in the WBC. So certainly he started very slow, I think, as a result of that, as we saw several players around the league do. Next 20 games, he hit 241 with 7 home runs and 13 RBIs. So the good Cal Raleigh is in there, and the good Cal Raleigh has been there this season. Now you factor in 0 for his last 36. Very clearly, the right side discomfort that kept him out of the lineup for 3 games and then kind of relegated him to the DH spot for another 2. I think that played played with his mechanics and his timing as well. His timing is off. Therefore, his pitch recognition is off. He has swung at far too many fastballs above the zone and far too many changeups and breaking balls below the zone. He has gotten himself out far too often. He's seemingly behind in the count, 0-2 or 1-2 every at bat. I do think as he plays more and gets back into that rhythm like he had in that 20-game sample size that I referenced, I do think that he will be okay. Is he going to hit 245 like he did a year ago? I don't know. Maybe he'll hit 224. But if he hits 36 home runs and brings in 100, this team will be just fine with what he's given them. As for Castillo, he's giving up home runs at an alarming rate. He's getting really hit hard the second time through the order specifically. Look, the fastball has been good. It's not a velocity thing, right? This is not just, he's getting older. He throws 3 miles an hour less than he used to. The fastball velocity has been 96, 97. So the velocity is still there. They're trying clearly to finagle his way through outings. We've seen more right-on-right changeups. We've seen more early count sliders. We've seen more fastballs at the top of the zone. They are trying as a catching staff to get him through these outings. And so far, they just haven't found something consistent that works. I look at Luis Castillo kind of like I look at Walker Buehler, who the Mariners faced a couple of weeks ago in San Diego, a guy who is a one-time ace who clearly has gone through some stuff and is no longer the pitcher that he was. Walker Buehler now has like 8 pitches on his resume. I think Luis Castillo needs to start tinkering with some things and add more stuff to his arsenal, because the fastball, changeup, slider only that he has lived on and thrived on, it just doesn't seem to be enough anymore. And the Mariners have taken the step now with Bryce Miller coming back tomorrow that they're going to go to the 6-man rotation one time through. Then they're going to go to a piggyback between Castillo and Miller. There are difficult conversations to be had at a few different spots on this roster, and Luis Castillo is at the center of one of them for sure.
Great analysis, and now we have a show to follow it. I mean, it's been there, but for our group that doesn't know about it, they should. Refuse to lose territory. Brady, great stuff, man. Really, really enjoy listening to you anyway, but now that you're part of the FT fam, I tweeted this, even better. So congrats again, and welcome, dude. Great to talk to you. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you very much, all of you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
You too, Brady Farkas. And there it is. First promo board. Refuse to lose territory, part of the FT network. There's a QR code on your screen. YouTube subscribe. Online, a little social media action there to follow Brady and the podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get it. Go for it. If you're a Mariners fan, this is the spot. Be right back to talk trade targets, teams that could be selling soon. Let's run both of these back to back if we can. Addison Barger has nothing structurally wrong in his elbow. This from Shai Davidi. They said the issue is in the joint. He's getting a cortisone shot. That's according to John Schneider, the manager. That's going to keep him down 3-4 days. So Schneider said hopefully a short stint on the injured list. Barger back on there. He had that ridiculous throw the other night.
By the way, nothing structurally wrong, then why does it hurt?
Well, structurally wrong usually means, I'm not even going to pretend like I'm a doctor here.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Anyways.
Yeah. You know, no structural damage, they'll usually say, like no, big tear or anything like that. So
there's something going on in there, though, if it hurts.
There is something going on. I agree. What's up with Erik Lauer this year? What's your take?
Maybe he's eating too much gluten. That's what everybody used to say when, I don't know if AJ heard guys that said that, like, ooh, I'm having too much gluten, my joints hurt. There's nothing structurally wrong.
Never heard of that. I was dumb before that. We ate all the gluten. We ate all the pasta, all the cookies, all the ice cream. We ate all that stuff.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Never heard that one. I know Matt Lecroy one time had the gout, though, and he was.
Oh, that
terrible. Was a completely different animal.
Dude, that's terrible.
And by the way, what?
No, Matt Lecroy's looked like he's 50 years old forever. Yeah, he awesome. Aged differently.
He's just because he had that gray hair forever, but he's awesome. The Erik Lauer thing where they said, it was just we'd show the tweet again, where it was just come on. This had to do with him making statements. You can't. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, as he said some stuff that they didn't like, and they were like, "Oh, we have an opportunity to move on. We can do it," and just say, "Oh, he's not pitching great."
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Kratz. You disagree? Like, if you can't say that, and not there are certain things as players, that if you say it and you don't pitch or play really well, it gives them a reason. It does.
AJ can say what he wants to say. Erik cannot. Erik Lauer cannot. He did well last year. Should he have been treated differently? Maybe. But go back and look at the games he was pitching in when he was pitching. They were putting that man out there. They were putting him out there. He was giving up some dingers. He was pitching some innings where it was like, okay, he pitched well for 3. Okay, are we taking him? No. This was setting up. Certain guys just can't say what they want to say. And that's okay that he said it. But you also got to understand, you make your bed, you sleep in it, and he'll find another big league job.
Blessing in disguise. He's going to get picked up by another team and be a starter. And he's going to have a good year. Watch it.
Oh, yeah.
He still got it.
He did a lot for them last year.
He did. Hey, we're heading in the weeds, and it's presented by MLB Perfect Inning 26. Let's talk trades. Now, you might say, the deadline's 3 months away. We're a quarter into the season. That's cool. Some teams do make early trades. Are there a ton of trades in early May? Not necessarily, but I think the way to look at it is Bob Nightingale's article says 5 teams to watch as executives weigh in on wild scenarios. So he spoke to scouts and quite a few execs, including GMs, about what's going on. And here are the 5 teams that he came up with that you should keep an eye on in terms of trading players away if things go down a bad path. Most of them are obvious. Mets, Giants. I'd like to start with the Astros. These 2 are less obvious. Diamondbacks, Tigers. I don't really see that one as much. He more included them to talk about Scooble. I'd like to start with the Astros, AJ. We're not used to this. Jim Crane, the owner of the team, is one of the more competitive owners in baseball, so I'm not sure how much he is willing to deal. And most of their impact pieces are not free agents after this year. The only one that could be from the list I'm looking at is Isaac Paredes, but his option next year is $13 million. That'll probably get picked up. Besides that, you've got Jeremy Pena, Josh Hader, Christian Walker. This is where the story picks up steam. He threw Yordan Alvarez's name in there. The Astros are not trading Yordan, but he said they'll get calls.
They could get a haul for him, though.
He said one executive told Bob, if they trade Yordan, they would get a better package than what the Nationals got for Juan Soto. That deal included Mackenzie Gore, James Wood,
CJ Abrams.
CJ Abrams.
Oh, I know. That's saying a lot
haul.
because those are 3 pretty good players.
It's a haul.
But look at his contract. His contract, I mean, to be a top 5 hitter in the game, that's a massive haul. He is landing in every team except for the Dodgers 3 spot in the lineup. And the Dodgers would probably be in on trading for Yordan Alvarez, except they already have a DH, so they won't.
I actually have another one coming up through the minors they call Mini Yordan, Jose De Paula. I'm getting off topic. But with the Astros, they're 10 games under 500 as we're talking about them. If they continue on this path, they will make a few deals. I don't know if they'll be super active because it has to match up. It has to be a team that actually has pieces to move.
But would they make a massive deal with somebody who's willing to eat some of somebody else's contract? In a sense, not Yordan. I don't think Yordan's going anywhere. I think him and Altuve are probably the untouchable. But would they say, okay, Isaac Paredes, who you would have him for the next year also, so it'd be that would be a nice piece for a team, and then say, but you got to take Hader's contract with it.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I don't see him trading any of these guys, though. I don't see him trading Pena because they're still trying to win. They're not. It's not like they've just given up, unless the Astros have just completely. And if they have, then they have a lot of pieces they could sell and get a lot back and restart the organization.
Well,
I mean, if you could trade, you could start trading. You could go full Twins and trade Pena, Alvarez, Hader. You could trade a lot of guys and get stuff back for them.
They won't do all of that, but can you reset with one or two? Remember, this offseason, they were shopping Christian Walker. Now he's hitting. If you really want to move him, now would be the time.
But they also thought they had Correa and they could put Paredes at first. Now they don't have that option.
Right. But he's back next year. I'm saying if they end up 15 games under 500 in a few weeks.
They're close right now.
That's what I'm saying. But if we're like, dude, if we're at June 1st and you're 15 games under 500, guess what? You're not making the playoffs. Even 10 games under 500, you're
close.
probably not making the playoffs.
We're
so
close.
You could trade Christian Walker at that point, sell at a good spot. Correa should be back next year. Paredes could be back for them at 13 mil. And then there you got rid of your logjam that never was much of a problem. So that's one. Who would you like to go with next? Mets or Giants?
Giants don't have anybody tradable, so let's not even go there.
No, they do.
Who?
Robbie Ray, free agent after this year.
I feel like that's a given.
It's a playoff
What's his
pitcher.
value, though? I don't feel like his value is that high.
Playoff pitcher.
Yeah, but
right? He's pitching game 3 for you.
Jimmy jacked at Jordan in the playoffs.
That was a while ago, and wasn't he out of the bullpen for that?
Yeah, but I don't know the team's
He's
trust.
having a good
I don't know
year.
the team's trust him.
Really? You don't?
Yeah, but
Do you
don't
trust
think he's
Robbie Ray, Kratz?
I do.
I do because of the fact that I think he is like 2.5 years now off of Tommy John. I think his stuff plays. Is he a number one starter for your playoffs? Absolutely not. Can he pitch? Can he be a number 3? Like, I would have to think of a specific team, but I would trust him because game 3, you're going to have an off day. So I want Robbie Ray to throw his 4 best innings for me. Let's put it this way. Padres pick up, I know it's in the division, so it may not happen. Padres pick up Robbie Ray to be their number 3 guy in that rotation. He gives me 4 innings of grunting fastballs, and I don't give them a chance to come back through the lineup to be like, okay, now that straight fastball, I'm on time. I popped the first few up. I swung and missed at the first few. Now I'm on time for it, and boom, you go right to that bullpen. I think his value is huge on a team like the Padres because you don't need 6 out of him. You don't even need 5 out of him. You can have him grunt and snort and punch out 6 in the first 4 innings, and then you're done.
The Cubs are going to call about anybody that can pitch a playoff game based on where they're at. Well, that's the more interesting.
They won't trade him. They're not trading him.
Bader?
Sure.
Bader's on a 2-year deal.
Still,
I know
but
Ken
I'm
had
just
said
saying,
one,
we're
but-
talking about the Astros trading guys. You get more value out of a guy with another year.
Arise.
Arise. So
We haven't talked about this
everyone hates
much.
Arise, though.
I know, but we haven't talked about this much, and I think he's a better playoff performer because you need somebody to make contact if you've got enough pop in the lineup. His defense, I don't even understand it. We need to bring Ron Washington back on the show and be like, what the hell did you do?
Why, because he's decent?
Yeah, I've watched him, and the metrics back it up.
Was it last night or 2 nights
Dude,
ago? where
he's been doing it
he
all
went to his
year.
left and set his feet and freaking made a nice throw.
All year,
Might have been-
he
might
has
have been against Pirates a couple
completely
days ago.
transformed himself. It's almost like nobody was running through defense with him in the past. And now, do you know what his range is on outs above average this year? 99th percentile.
So he's
Eight
he
outs
said
above
he
average.
wanted to prove he could play defense.
Great.
He's
That's-
doing it.
And
There's value
look
there.
where he was. Look where he was in San Diego. Like, if you put me with all the fastest guys in the world, I'm looking really, really slow. That's a bad example because I'm slow anyway. But Luis Arise had to be on a team fielding all these guys that are getting great jumps because they're all shortstops. Every one of them were shortstops. So maybe it was always in there, and the Padres were just like, we don't really need to work on, Manny Machado's jumps. We don't really need to work on Jake Cronenworth. He was a shortstop coming up through. Xander Bogaerts was a shortstop. He could move. And then Tatis was everybody was a shortstop. So maybe it was just one of those things that it was always in there. And he's a baseball player that I think if you put everybody in a showcases that the kids go to now, Luis Arise doesn't get picked. But he's clearly getting the job done at above average pace.
If they stink, they're going to trade him. Mets, center of attention.
Well,
Freddie
there's Robert,
Peralta.
But he's got to go to a team that has small crowds because the crowds in New York are too big for him. That's why he got hurt.
He needs medium crowds, maybe. Medium crowds.
Oh, wait, no,
Freddie?
he
That'd
was
be
hurt
great
in
if he
Chicago
came out and
every
said that.
year. Huh?
That'd be great if he came out and said that. He's like, oh, it's so much better with crowds. There was no crowds there. And now if he would say, oh, the pressure of the crowds is just too much. He won't say that, but that would have been great.
No.
There's no value to Luis Robert. No value. Sorry. He's not getting traded.
Okay, Freddie Peralta and Clay Holmes are the obvious ones.
Those two
starters.
would both get you a lot.
Yep. And then the one I have a question on for you guys is Bo Bichette, 3 years, 126 mil, two opt-outs.
Nope.
Too much money right now, right?
Because right now the Mets are going opt-out.
They want him to opt out.
Yes.
Saying. Yeah.
How great would it be for Freddie?
No one's taking Bo Bichette.
It's too much money.
Too much money.
How great would it be for Freddie P, who right now will get a qualifying offer because he was traded before the season? He's not going to get a qualifying offer if he gets traded, as to me, it looks like how do the Mets keep him if they don't turn this around, like massively?
Well, unless they sign him to an extension.
Right, but we haven't heard it yet, so I'm not buying that one so quickly.
Clay Holmes is he can opt out, right?
Mm-hmm. He's definitely going, as long as he's healthy. I mean, it's like 12 mil. He's gone.
100%.
He'll get a qualifying offer, though. So if he gets traded, no qualifying offer.
Yeah, they're both begging to be traded. They're going to make way more money if they get traded. Yes, exactly.
They're sabotaging that clubhouse so they get traded. They're not. More sarcasm.
No. I know. Two more at the finish line here, because these were the ones that were in here in a different way. One is the Tigers, just based on them off to an start and seeing where Scooble's at. But the concept that was written about here is, if Scooble somehow comes back or it's not working for him and the Tigers fall out, well, then you're not trading Scooble because he didn't have the same value there. If he comes back and he shoves, the Tigers are probably going to be relevant. So most of the execs, like one GM in this story was quoted saying, too much invested, don't see it happening, the whole Scooble thing. And he just got the nanoscope that Scott Boras talked about. Less invasive. Boras said it's basically like receiving a shot. So when some people thought it would be 2 or even 3 months for Scooble, the target return for him, in his mind and his representation's mind, sounds more like perhaps June, which would be great. So anyway, I don't think they're worth taking much time on. I'm going to skip even asking you guys. Here's the last one.
Tigers aren't trading anybody. They're in the AL Central. They're alive. They were up 15 games last year and lost the division. They know how it can happen.
Yes. Diamondbacks waited until the buzzer last year and then had Naylor, Gino, Merrill Kelly get
They're
dealt.
alive though right now. They're 20-20, 21 and whatever it is. 20. They're 500 right now. I look at them. Who do they have? Gallen would be the obvious one.
Yeah. Merrill Kelly again.
Yeah, but didn't he sign a multi-year deal?
He did, so you could keep him. Nelson, although he's got to pitch better. Here's the big one, or there's two big ones. Mike
Corbin,
Soroka.
No. Cattell, no.
Mike Soroka was dealing again last night, 6 2/3. You could trade Seawald, who's been awesome for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't blown
I love
a save.
that guy, by the way.
He's such a good
was
dude.
making me laugh so hard on Saturday when I was talking. I was talking to him and Ginkle and someone else. Seawald was making me laugh so hard. He said something about taking my shirt off, and I was like, I don't want to embarrass all you pitchers if I take my shirt off in front of the current players. And Ken was standing there. I'm like, why don't we get Ken to take his shirt off?
Oh, gosh. Ken probably scurried out.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Not part of that combo.
But I love Seawald. He's great.
So
he's just a great guy.
The point here is I think the Diamondbacks are going to be in the mix because they're hitter. We talked about this earlier in the show.
Why wouldn't the Diamondbacks try to add something?
Well, it just depends where they're at. Last year, remember, he waited till the buzzer and he was like, it's not really happening. Gutted it. This year, it's more of just the hypothetical. We went over a number of arms that they could deal. There's one more, too. Eduardo Rodriguez has been really good to start the year.
Is he a free agent?
Not even close, actually.
Oh, really? Because I was like...
But they would deal him away if a team would take on the money. I feel pretty confident in that. He's got 21 mil this year, 19 mil next year, and then he could get 17 on a vesting option in 2028 if he goes 150 innings in 2027 or 300 innings combined in 26 and 27. So if the Diamondbacks fall out and Erod's dealing, the Diamondbacks will definitely shop him too. Good exercise. We know it's early, but just teams to focus on and see what they've got in terms of potential trade assets. Props to MLB Perfect Inning 26 for hooking us up with a little help on this segment. Scan the QR code and download MLB Perfect Inning 26. It's a free game. Go get it on your phone. Say hello to your favorite MLB stars in full 3D. Experience upgraded pitching and batting styles and perfect integration of the official MLB designated runner rule for extra innings. They've got it all. I asked Ken about this in our last part of Inside Scoop, but this is the main man who covers this for The Athletic. Evan Drellick wrote, "It has begun. MLB and the Players Association holding their first collective bargaining meeting in New York. That is today, making opening presentations ahead of what's expected to be a lengthy fight over a salary cap." The one thing to keep in mind, too, is that they're not really going to do anything real for many months, but they do have to fake like they're doing things. That's part of like the National Labor Relations Board. I think it's NLRB, where you have to make fair efforts to actually collectively bargain, Kratz. So they have to put real PowerPoint decks together and say, we're trying, even though the fight will really happen in the offseason.
Probably, as one person told me, the least constructive meetings that he's ever been a part of. Like, zero information. Like, people are so vague because nobody wants to give or show anything possible, show any of their cards. And yet they're supposed to negotiate in good faith based on the national labor regulations. But they don't. And it's neither side. One side's going to say, well, we did quite a bit. And the other side would say, well, that side didn't do anything. And so it's just good faith negotiations. Like, let's get it done.
It's actually a pathetic process. I read way too much about it. It's so pathetic, like what Kratz is talking about, where they just dance and say all kinds of legal jargon and BS. I hope it gets replaced one day by AI. Because it's such garbage. It's such garbage. Like, it is like the pure trash of the earth.
Yeah, but it
to
happens,
hear 8,000 lawyers saying a boo boo boo, and then they're like basically talking to a babe. Oh, you're so cute. I don't actually want to say anything until December, and then we'll say one thing, and then we'll really talk in February. That's basically what they do. Like,
I don't know why you have to put it off so much.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but it's not just baseball. It's not just baseball. It happens in the Pennsylvania Teachers Union. It's how the unions negotiate things, and it's the fight of, well, we'll get a little bit more. I'm not saying that we're going to get any more, but look what happened to NHL. NHL said, yes, we'll take a 10% pay cut in our next CBA. And you know what the owner said? Screw that. We're gonna lock you out for a year, and we're gonna take 25% because you guys already showed that you're a weak group.
They're like, haha, you talked first. You get punished.
Yep.
Hey, let's talk Dodgers. There's a lot of happenings. Katie Woo is back.
Again?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh.
There's too many things happening.
Oh,
so we had to hit the bat phone, the blue phone, and talk to one of the stars of Dodgers territory. We'll see what kind of questions AJ has. But Katie, it is always a pleasure to catch up with you. And also, Katie, ripping up some really good articles in The Athletic, too, for everyone to check out. I have to start here. What's up with Shohei Ohtani? Katie, we haven't seen this kind of bat production from him in years. Is he showing
Katie's fault.
a little... Yeah, Katie's fault. Is he showing that like
Katie leaves St. Louis? Look how good they are.
A little bit human right now?
She goes
Are
to
we gonna have one of
LA.
these shows today?
Ohtani can't hit.
Are we going to have one of these shows, AJ? I'm more than happy to. Bring it on.
Kratz started it. Why am I getting yelled at?
What did he say?
Just because you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's talk about some Shohei Ohtani, guys, because at this point, it is a problem. And I'm going to sit here and preface with no one is actually concerned about the long-term longevity and production of Shohei Ohtani. But right now, it has not been good. Dodgers, overall, not been good, especially their offense. That starts at the top with their leadoff hitter. Going into play Monday, the Dodgers kicked off a 4-game set against the Giants at Dodger Stadium. Here's Shohei Ohtani's line over the last 25 games. He's hitting .212, 337 on base percentage, a 318 slug, just one homer. And that was before he went 0 for 5 with 2 punch-outs against the Giants. So, yeah, it has not been good. And there's a lot that goes into this with Ohtani, whether it's the slump to start the season that's carried over. We know he's balancing two-way responsibilities for the first time since signing that mega contract with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have tried to work in some rest days for him because, let's be honest, it is very taxing doing two-way things. But when you look at these numbers, this just is not who Shohei Ohtani is as a pitcher, or as a hitter, excuse me. And we kind of saw for yesterday, he came out. We know Ohtani doesn't really like to take batting practice on the field, but he did so for the third time already this for the Dodgers, and it didn't even look good then. So clearly this is a guy who does not feel comfortable at the plate right now. The numbers reflect that. We talked to manager Dave Roberts after the game on Monday, and he said, to paraphrase, it just looks like Ohtani is trying to swing out of it. Guys, usually when players do that, it sets them back. So Dodgers need him to produce, but Ohtani, I think, needs to take a step back and try to find some sort of production that will allow him to find better numbers at the top of the order, because right now it's just not working.
We heard little snippets from Dave Roberts, but you're there daily. Did he expand on any of what he's talking about Shohei? The one day he said, I just didn't like the body language, or I didn't like the swings. They didn't look good. Has he said, like, Shohei's saying his legs are tired, or it looks like his legs are tired? Is there anything that gives you an idea of what Dave Roberts is seeing?
Yeah, that's a good question. And Dave Roberts hasn't really expanded on any fatigue. Ohtani, when we're able to talk to him, also has said the same. To me, it just looks like a guy who is trying to swing out of it. And in the beginning, in April, although the production wasn't really backed up from the slugging percentage standpoint, he was reaching base. He was drawing a lot of walks. He had some productive outs. So you can, when you're a hitter, kind of take some silver lining in that. But as Dave Roberts pointed out yesterday, Ohtani has stopped doing that. He hasn't been walking. The walk rate's down. He's pulling a lot of balls, weak ground balls to the pull side. Just the quality of at-bats are indicative of someone who just does not feel right in the box. And he's going to have a day off from hitting either Wednesday or Thursday. Dave Roberts said Ohtani will start Wednesday against the Giants on the mound. But just try to incorporate some rest days and really get Ohtani right. Because as we've seen throughout the Dodgers collectively 1 through 9, that entire top of the order is really scuffling, and that starts with him. The good news is for the Dodgers is that it's not fatigue. It doesn't seem to be fatigue, at least. It's just more of a mechanics not feeling right, probably an adjustment to going back to two-way duties, but it certainly doesn't make it any easier. Ohtani is the catalyst at the top of this lineup. They could really use him, especially with guys like Kyle Tucker not really hitting the way that they thought. Freddie Freeman starting to come out of it a little bit. They've been without Mookie Betts for a month. He just now came back. That whole top of the order is being paid hundreds of millions of dollars to produce, starting with Ohtani, and that just has not been the case over the last 3 weeks offensively.
Thank God for Andy Pages and Dalton Rushing.
And Max Muncy. Your 3 guys carrying that.
Although Max did get robbed. Did you see Max get robbed the other day? And then he was like, oh, and the guy jumped into the fence.
Yeah, who was that?
Eli White?
Eli White.
Eli White. Yes,
Eli White almost
right.
lost his face. Yeah. Robbing
You
Max.
got a concussion, but got you out.
That's true. He got a concussion. Yeah. 11 homers, though, for Max. He leads the team.
Max is doing it.
He's balling.
Them goggles got him right. Them rec specs he's got him right.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, what about another guy? I don't read your article, so I don't know what you wrote, but you wrote – I did read one of your articles. We'll get into that later. But Roki Sasaki, the Dodgers are focusing not on his present but on his future, but the Dodgers are probably the only team that could do this. What's going on with Roki? He's looked better, right? He has looked a little bit better.
Yes. Thank you for humbling me, AJ. I appreciate that. It's one of your most consistent traits. If you read the article, though, you would know what the Dodgers are looking at with Roki Sasaki and his long-term development. They preach this patience, every fan's favorite word, and continued progress with Roki, and there has been no plan to remove him from the starting rotation. Although over the last 3 starts, they have been incrementally better, and we've been starting to see tangible evidence of Roki trying to come into form. So what exactly are the Dodgers looking for? I talked to President of Baseball Operations Andrew Friedman about the importance of making sure Roki is adjusting to the quality and caliber of major league hitters. They don't believe that he can learn anything about his arsenal and his pitch mix in AAA because, frankly put it, there's such a wide gap in talent from AAA to the majors now. That gap in talent is bigger than ever. And if Roki Sasaki is going to figure out what it takes to succeed at the big league level, He has to figure out what works and what doesn't here in the majors, even if it comes at the cost of maybe not putting the best, most effective 6 starters in your rotation when Tyler Glasnow comes back from the IL. Now, what are the Dodgers looking at for Roki in terms of change? Well, what made him so successful in Japan was the fastball forkball combo. Now, that fastball sat 100, and that forkball was not even close to the kind of forkball that we're seeing from him now. Those pitches don't play as effectively in the majors. And to combat that, there's a couple of things. It is the adjustment to the major leagues. It also could be the adjustment to the ball. The ball is smaller, easier to grip, easier to command, easier to spot in Japan, which makes dotting the fastball and the forkball much easier in theory. Roki Sasaki has not been able to show that both the fastball and the forkball can play in the majors as they did in Japan. That fastball is now sitting 97, and we know that he's had to incorporate 2 variations of the forkball, the new one being more of a traditional splitter. He's also added in a slider in an attempt to kind of mix up his arsenal, because if he can't use the fastball forkball speed combinations to keep opposing hitters off, he needs to be able to kind of throw essentially the kitchen sink at hitters and vary speeds that way. So adding an arsenal, Kratz, AJ, you both know this as catchers, like it's difficult to find out the best pitch mix without a little bit of trial and error. And as Roki continues to add pitches into his arsenal throughout the early part of the season, figuring out when to use them and where to use them to different hitters is part of the learning process. So it's all a matter to say that there are several factors going into Sasaki's development. The Dodgers are okay having him develop at the major league level for now because they believe the long-term payoff is going to be worth the short-term struggle that we're seeing. Although, in fairness to Sasaki, it has been much better over his last 3 starts.
Yeah, he also faced the Giants, who stink at hitting, so there's that. But it helps. So he's rehabbing against the Giants. I get that. But didn't we hear this story in spring training? Hey, he's got to add that cutter slider thing. Had they completely disbanded that because now all of a sudden, he changed his forkball, which he was holding more like this, to more of an orientation of a splitter? Are they throwing stuff up against the wall because they have the ability to have an extra pitcher? They have the ability to say, you know what, we're going to win a lot of games. And you said that they don't want him to go to AAA to work things out. At some point, people are going to be healthy. At some point, he's clearly the worst starter in their rotation. Is the move then back to the bullpen where he had success in the postseason, but he also kind of hamstrung them a little bit, and they got relieved by starting pitchers who stepped in because he couldn't throw on back-to-back nights like other relievers could?
It's not right now. And the reason for that is because the injury ramp up, if you are all of a sudden built out to start and you go back to the bullpen, the injury risk, it's exponentially higher if they need him to bulk back up. Starting pitching is the number one thing in demand for teams across the league. It's why the Dodgers are one of the reasons why the Dodgers are so good, because it seems like they have an abundance of starting pitching in their minor league system. You look at some guys like Emmett Sheehan, Justin Robleski fighting for their spot on the rotation. Well, they'd be most teams' number 3 starters, if that. But for Roki, again, the Dodgers could change their mind when we get closer to the postseason, because as we saw, you really only need 4 starters tops in those postseasons, 3 in the early rounds. And that's where Sasaki could really shine and help them come September. But this is May, guys. And the Dodgers believe that this is the best course of action, again, for the long term of Sasaki's career. Finding and developing starting pitching continues to be one of the hardest things you can do in the game. So the Dodgers aren't simply going to punt on who they believe could be a superstar in the rotation, even if Sasaki isn't showing that right now. And it's a difficult thing for fans specifically to understand, because Dodgers fans have been conditioned to expect a 3rd straight World Series title. The Los Angeles Dodgers are not a team that goes out and says, hey, we're going to maybe not put our best starter on the mound tonight because we want to win games in the future. That's not what the Dodgers do. But it's a special case here because of who Sasaki could be in his high ceiling. I mean, he had one of the highest pedigrees coming over from Japan. So special case, special circumstances. I think what the Dodgers are asking their fans to do is it's difficult because it goes against almost everything else that they have been preaching for the last several years. But to give Sasaki a little bit of patience, because the last thing Andrew Friedman wants is for this dynastic run to end. And in order for large market teams to continue to find success like the Dodgers have been, You have to be able to supplement your core with your spending. And going out there and being able to build up and grow Sasaki as a starter is going to help them in the long run. So again, it comes down to short-term sacrifices. They're not going to send him to the bullpen. They're not going to send him to AAA. They don't think that they can find anything there for him to grow and develop on. Maybe come September, we're talking about Sasaki as a reliever because that's where he's best suited. But right now, the Dodgers are playing the long game. We talk about load management. That doesn't just refer to injuries. They certainly are looking at the big picture for Sasaki, even if it makes the short-term understanding a little bit frustrating.
So Katie Wu says the Dodgers are in a rebuild. Appreciate that, Katie. Thank you for clarifying that. That's a nice. But the one conspiracy theory that gets bantered about here in foul territory is, do you think also some of the decision is, you know what? We also want to make our organization look like an organization that continues to develop or bring over the best Japanese talent. Is there any whisperings of that in the clubhouse or whisperings of that in the front office where it's like, hey, a Japanese star comes over, we want to make sure we treat them the way that we want, hey, everybody else continue to come to the Dodgers organization?
You know, I can understand that sentiment. I really can. And I think there's maybe some validity behind it. But I think what's more, if we're going to go into like the makeup of players, is the Dodgers have worked really hard to earn the trust of Roki Sasaki. And it's been a two-way street. Last year, he came over and he spent most of 2025 on the injured list. And the Dodgers didn't really get a chance to communicate with Roki. And we saw that. It's not, I wouldn't blame the organization. I wouldn't really blame the player. It's just two sides coming over from two completely different worlds and trying to figure out the communication tactic. They have worked extensively to get Roki to trust them. It was Roki who approached pitching coach Mark Pryor and said, I want to change my forkball grip to a more traditional splitter grip. And Mark Pryor said, that's great. Let's work on it together. If you send a message to Roki and send him down to AAA, does that, I'm not saying it does, I'm speculating and questioning, does that impact his trust in the organization? To be clear, I believe the Dodgers when they say that the best thing for Sasaki's development long-term is at the big league level. Everything they have said makes sense from a logistics standpoint and the stats standpoint. But there is also something to be said about the makeup of a player. Can Sasaki handle a demotion? That's something worth questioning because we all know how much effort it took for the two sides to start talking and trusting each other. Roki's in a much better place now. He's worked hard to get there. So have the Dodgers. You risk burning that relationship or taking a step back if you demote him without giving him every possible chance to succeed at the major league level. And I think that's part of the reason why the Dodgers are committed to doing so.
They demoted him last year. He came back just fine, Katie. Just saying. I know you're on the Cardinals beat. They demoted him last year. He was in AAA.
He was hurt.
He was in AAA. Yeah, he was hurt. He was hurt. Like Glasnow was hurt for Snell.
Real conspiracy.
He just happens to. By the way, that degree from where is that? Southern Rhode Island University. Is that a fake degree over your shoulder?
James.
Well, it's an Arizona State degree, so kind of. Just kidding.
Let me guess.
Wow. Shots fired.
She wasn't kidding. It was a mail-in one.
Cronkite School is good.
It's bigger than AJ's college degree.
That's right.
We have the same one.
AJ, we can fight. We got a game coming up together, I think. After my wonderful spotlight on you, we're going to treat me this way on the show. Incredible.
Yes, that's what my next question was going to be about. I don't even know Kratz read that article about Dalton rushing. And how Katie had to call me, and she goes, this is one of the questions. Does this reputation of Dalton rushing that you had your whole career ever go away? And I go, well, I haven't played in 10 years, and you're still freaking calling me, Katie. So you answer the question for me. If it ever goes away.
Love and respect.
And it's your fault, Katie. It's your people's fault. It's the writers. You guys write bad stuff about AJ. He is a good person. There is nothing that he ever did that made him be that you guys wrote about him. Stop doing that.
That's right. I've never said that. I have never said that for the record, by the way.
I'm saying that.
Never said that. But I will say this. I did want to ask you about it. The teammates in the article that he wrote, and if you guys haven't seen it, he wrote an article about Dalton rushing and about how he's kind of getting this reputation of not being the nicest guy, which some of us have had to live through, and I understand it, and I'm fine with it. But his teammates really seem to have his back, and that was a big thing in that article. I mean, heck, you could ask Freddie. Freddie dealt with me for 2 years, so he already knows how to deal with this problem, right? I mean, Mookie, I played with Mookie for a while, so he knows how to deal with this problem. But they seem to really understand him, and they've tried to help him. Has he gotten any better since your article came out? Has your article changed his life, Katie?
Life-changing journalism, just really ahead of the industry here at The Athletic. No, I think it's a good point. Let's talk a little bit about Dalton Rushing and the perception of him in April. He was a little bit of a viral moment all month long. But I think, one, when you play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, fans just are going to hate you. And it's hard to find guys that are hateable on the Dodgers because you have like Freddie Freeman, you have Ohtani, you have Yamamoto. These are all guys that play the game well, they play the game right, and they're easy to root for. But they play for the Dodgers, so 29 other fan bases are like, why we want to hate someone. Dalton Rushing is the type of player where if he's on your team, you love him. And if he's not on your team, you hate his guts. And we're seeing that, especially over the last couple months or the last couple weeks with some, again, viral moments that picked up maybe the not most favorable things that he's ever said. But what is important is how he's perceived in the clubhouse, at least in Dodgerland. And I think the way that Miguel Rojas and Freddie Freeman in that story described why they like Dalton Rushing and why they want him to succeed so much goes to show the way Dalton Rushing acts is only a problem if his own clubhouse sees it that way, and they don't. They want to make sure Dalton Rushing stays on the right path. I think Freddie Freeman, I'll quote him, used a perfect analogy when he said it's like throwing up bumper lanes in a bowling alley. They just want to keep Dalton Rushing on track, but they don't want to take away that competitive edge that makes him the type of player that he is. Dalton Rushing, at his core, wants to win, and he's done an incredible job of accepting for the first time in his career that he's going to be a backup catcher. He's not going to get everyday playing time, and he has to change his approach and how he comes to the field every day and how he prepares, and he's done so. And his clubhouse has embraced him. There's going to be learning moments along the way, but you guys can attest to this. As long as your clubhouse has your back and isn't tired of your antics, you can act however you want. The Dodgers are committed to making sure that Dalton Rushing can play authentically because that's what makes him good, but also maybe tone down the viral moments because they don't always paint him in the best light. I certainly understand why fans from other teams might not like him, but at the end of the day, what matters is that he's liked in the clubhouse. They actually, I think I saw a clip on Twitter with Shohei where they have a little handshake and it looks like at the end, Shohei Ohtani is like zipping his lips a little. I thought that was hilarious. I'm alluding to what that means. Another thing that I just goes to show about the clubhouse is after a series in St. Louis, Dalton Rushing punched out to end the game. He comes down the dugout and he like kicks the air out of frustration. And the next day, the Dodgers launch a kicking celebration where Freddie Freeman said they're just simply kicking out the bad energy. But I see a little bit more of a correlation there. So AJ, you know this. If your clubhouse has your back, that's what matters. And that seems to be the case for Dalton Rushing here.
True. Great. They do.
You wrote an article with AJ's help? Sheesh. Come on, Katie.
Not only was AJ
You've
like
changed.
helpful, his quote was so good it was our lead.
Ooh.
You've changed.
It's almost like
It's so-
he talks for a living.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, Dalton Rushing, we're calling you in 2039.
Katie, back to
Perhaps
the
for foul
original point,
territory.
by the way. You leave St. Louis, they're good. LA, not so good.
Oh,
Can we
stop.
get back to that?
LA had the
Am I
same
the
lulls.
cooler?
There's
Yeah,
no
the-
You might that you know what? That used to be my nickname with the Giants. That's when Mark Gardner came up. He called me that, so it's not a bad thing.
Oh no, I don't want to be the cooler. It's fine. It's fine. Look, I love what the Cardinals are doing. It's great to see those young guys just kind of click and have an opportunity to go out and play their game. But if there's anyone that deserves to write the Jordan Walker comeback story, it's me. So it's kind of eating me alive. But you guys know I'm a Jordan Walker truther on the
Not all
show.
about
for
you.
several
Not all
years.
about you, Katie.
For several
Not all
years,
about
AJ,
you.
but it is.
The cat's gonna write that story.
Yeah, well, but
Cardinal
Bowden, who's on
territory.
this, yes, Bowden, who's on this network and The Athletic, is like that too. All right, I'm being told we're way over time. So, Katie, you're the best. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you on Dodgers territory.
See you guys.
Hey, the Braves placed Sean Murphy back on the injured list. This time it's a fractured left middle finger. AJ's favorite finger.
This dude can't get right.
It sucks. Catcher's interference on Sunday.
I saw that one out. He got whacked hard. He used to have catcher's interference like once every 5 years. Now it's like once every 2 games we have one.
And Sandy
back
Leon. Sandy Leon's still going strong. He was playing in Mexico recently. Now he's playing in the big leagues with one of the best teams in baseball. And also, you've got Kim back. So there's a lot of up and down
They still have
shuffling
Drake
going
Baldwin,
on.
though.
Yeah, they are more than fine. Sean Murphy for the second half or for the stretch run would be good. And then you give Baldwin a blow, and you've got really nice depth for the playoffs.
Or maybe
Luckily,
they
you're
claim
up 1 billion games.
Or maybe they claim Heim back when he goes on waivers.
He might not. He didn't go on waivers, though, again, did he?
No. I'm saying he's with the Athletics, and
Right.
who knows what the Athletics do. They were carrying 3 guys, and Shane Bangerhands, he does pretty decent, and he's going to play every day. So, just saying.
Bangaliers. But it sucks when he's been working a while to get back at big surgery, and then you get a different injury for Murphy.
Yeah. He had the hip surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has the finger. Stinks. Some guys just have that.
I wonder if like all that stuff like continues to linger for guys. Well, I was fortunate, one surgery, 2 surgeries. I had a loose body, but it wasn't during the season. Like if it lingers, like a hip surgery sounds painful. I haven't ever had hip pain yet. I might at some point, but like to then get back there and catch, and then you break your finger, and you're like, maybe it'll be a blessing in disguise. Because he'll get fully healthy from the hip once his finger heals. My fingers hurt. Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just got landscaping duty.
Most players probably still, even in today's game, rush back too quickly from any recovery.
Teams have slowed everyone down, though, a lot of times.
Better. It's way better than it used to be.
Oh, it used to be you were getting back as soon as because everyone didn't want to lose their job.
Mm-hmm.
Now people were like, everyone gets hurt. Now I can take 2 months when I only needed a week.
Great
Anthony
stats.
Volpe. On line 1, Anthony Volpe.
Yo, we're showing it one more time because it's special and we have to catch up on time because we talked too much for the beginning of the show. Here we are looking at this gorgeous map that includes the shows and the coverage state-wise, but if you like a particular team anywhere around the world, I was actually recently looking at our country demographics. There are some fun ones. Then the FT Network is for you. We are getting very close to covering every single team with its own dedicated show. The one that's begging for attention in the top left corner that keeps popping off the page. That's the new one. Refuse to lose territory. There it is. Brady Farkas was on with us earlier. So just a reminder to everyone.
What do we have? A's, White Sox. What else?
Rays,
Come on, Alaska.
Royals.
Come on, Alaska.
A's, White Sox, Rays, Royals. There's 4. There might be like one more. We're pretty close. Rangers.
The Rangers.
Rockies.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. The Nats currently have 6 in the top 100 after the latest rankings. And Ronnie Cruz cracking in there at the top 100. We are a big fan of this guy, but why should Nationals fans be paying attention to him? A lot of different reasons, but
there's
what excites you?
I'll say this: Paul Taboni and Devin Pearson came over this year. Justin Horwitz and literally like a couple weeks into spring training, they're like, "This guy is incredible," and that's an unbiased opinion, right? You come in fresh for a whole new organization, and literally. The first time we had Paul Taboni on Nationals TV doing our interview during in-game a couple weeks ago, we're like, who's impressing? He goes, it's hard not to start with Ronnie. It's a dynamic bat. It's a dynamic, like it's hard to say it other than dynamic. He has speed. The power's real. The defense is really good. It's only going to get better. He could play multiple positions on this, trying to get comfortable with the whole, they're trying to like kind of hone in a little bit more of the, the approach a little bit, but you also don't want to, hinder him too, right? Like you also don't want to, hold him back. He's already up into he's 19 years old.
It's just about to look that up.
6'2", 190. He has high chase rate right now at 39%. But heart swing percentage this year, 82%. And you want that to continue to go higher. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that. Is there whiff? Sure. But there's walks in there too. That's the part that's like kind of baffling me with him is there's an 11% walk rate this year. Like there's swing and miss.
That's
there's
good.
some chase. But those guys that do that, they don't walk.
Yeah. At 10% or 11% clips usually. Like that's
right. So he hits the ball hard. Get the ball in the air on the pull side.
I'm just going to remind people most days that it's happening. We'll stay on a little bit longer on YouTube. So hang around with us, please. It's Lance Lynn's birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I wish you happy birthday.
You did? Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Lancelot. Cardinal Territory star. What are you wearing today? Do you know, before you reveal it, do you know what Kratz is wearing today?
I mean, it's got to be a Reds. It looks like a Reds or Minnesota maybe. But it's also Wes Helms' birthday.
It's for Wes Helms' birthday.
Oh, the Braves.
No, it was actually just because we had Leo Mazzoni on yesterday, and I wore it again today, and we didn't get to show it because I quit early yesterday.
You did. You were a quitter yesterday.
And Leo said, we wear our hats forward in the Braves organization. And I looked at AJ,
Always.
and AJ was like, oh, man, I'm so embarrassed. Leo said I should wear it forward.
I had to wear suits every day.
I do all kinds of stuff here.
Gross.
It was fine. You got used to it, though. You understood why.
Yeah.
You feel pro, for sure.
When you hit on the Mariners, BetMGM Locks, by the way. Yankees and Orioles
had a pitcher's duel.
They did. Ryan Weathers had a no-no. I was watching that.
6.
You know, some nights I watch
Kobe
everything.
Mayo had a moment.
I was watching that, and I had Yanks by 2. So I'm like, all right, doing okay. Yeah, Kobe Mayo had a huge moment, and he talked about how his little pup, his dog, helped him get through some rougher times lately where he's not swinging the bat well. He had the terrible error last week, but he had a dinger off Hedrick, which spinner up, and Mayo.
Which should he? I mean, that you can make arguments whether he should have been in the game or not, but
correct. That's fair. You never know. With the bullpens, who's up, down, who's feeling good.
Bednar had thrown 2 days in a row, Hill had thrown 2 days in a row, and Cruz had thrown 2 days in a row, so they were kind of at it.
Yep, and that's a huge homer for a team that needs to put every win together that it can right now.
Yeah.
In the Orioles, who were getting no hit.
Yeah.
That was broken up in the 7th inning.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anthony Nunez shut the door. And Caballero out on a overturned call to end the game.
Great throw by Adley at the end.
Adley's having a great year. He's having a great year. Yeah. We need to give flowers to Adley. It's early, but he's hitting. He's doing it all right now.
He looks closer to what he used to be.
Yes. Ready for some picks?
Sure.
Would you like to go?
I'll go first. I got a crazy three-leg parlay.
Okay.
I'm starting with Pirates run line -1.5 against the Rockies because Skeens is pitching, and Skeens is dealt last time out, so I think he'll probably shove. Will Warren to get 6+ strikeouts against the Orioles because Will Warren his last 2 times has gone 7 and 9 against 7 punchies, 9 punchies against the Orioles. The last 2 times he's pitched against them, And just for Scott Braun today, Tatsui Amai.
You got to say it right.
Tatsui Amai.
Tatsuya.
Tatsuya.
Tatsuya Amai.
Tatsuya Amai.
Tatsui Amai, Mijiba. Tatsuya Amai will get 5+ strikeouts, and that gets me to plus 393. And the only reason I went that one is because the Mariners strike out a lot.
They do. And man, I'm rooting for him to.
And I want him to have a good outing.
I do too. He's got good stuff. Like, you know how when you watch certain pitches, he's got the backward slider, all that. You want it to work. I want to see that. I want to see more of that. But it's got to actually, fool
That's
guys.
393 plus 393.
That's a good plus piece right there. Plus 393. We've all got plus money bets today. Kratz, what's yours?
I'm going under 1.5 runs for Paul Skeens. I think he's not going to go. He went longer in his last outing, so I feel like the Pirates are going to be like, okay, that was 5, that was 6 innings. We're taking you out. So I'm going to go under because he's not going to give up any runs to the Rockies. Under 1.5. And I have a Nerfy in the Rays and Jays. They've been kind of mid in the first inning, but no runs first inning because it's Patrick Corbin who hasn't given up a run in his last 5 in the first, and Shane McClanahan's only given up 1 first inning run the entire season. So I'm going that Nerfy together. It's plus 204.
Boom. And then mine's just plus $100. I'm going with AJ's White Sox.
Oh,
Even money bet. It's Fetty, but it's also Stephen Kolek, and the Royals are brutal on the road. I was looking up, not just the road record, fading them on the road lately with, if they're favored, all that. So that's why I've got an even money bet, a plus $100. I'll take the White Sox tonight to try and cool off what's been a pretty good Royals team. I know they lost on Sunday, but they've been looking much better lately. White Sox offense. It's the beginning of the series.
Murakami.
Watch out. It's becoming a thing. He's homered in the first game of the series in 8 straight series. That's crazy. Let's talk about the free-to-play game, which could include a homer or a single or a double or a triple or don't get out. But your daily shot to win in the BetMGM app could land you prizes like an odds boost token or a $50 bonus bet. If you get a hit, you get a prize. Gambling problem or concern, there's help. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we're done because Hot Sheet has begun. Tuesdays, 3 o'clock Eastern. A lot to get to, of course, with Ewing and many other prospects. What's his name? Bolte.
Bolt.
Not Bolte. Bolte. Henry Bolte.
Henry Bolt.
They might call him that.
Bolt.
Have fun.